Hello guys, today we are going to speak about something very interesting, so please enjoy, sit back and relax. So let's get started. Have you ever been assigned a task that is difficult for you, but perhaps not really hard for others? Let's say your boss or maybe a teacher comes to you and says, "Come on, give me an idea." Think and use your imagination. Give me something new, something innovative. It is easy to say, but it's very hard to do. This may seem hard to do because we have been living confined inside mental boxes called comfort zone, which are all the things we get used to with time and we do not even bother changing, because it has become part of our routine. Whether this makes us happy or not, we are just prisoners of our daily habits. Also, we have the limitations we set to ourselves, which are all those things we say or think are dangerous or too risky to do. So we don't even try because we don't know what is going to be the outcome, meaning that we are programmed to avoid unpredictable results. So when someone says we need to think outside of the box, it is just too hard to come up with fresh ideas. And the first question we ask is why? Because inside of this box we feel safe, we agree with everyone else, because outside of this box we find risk. Or we could ruin our reputation by letting others know we act or think in a certain way. Is this something esoteric that can just be understood by the special among us, or is this something that is just impossible to achieve? Sharing the same ideas and information with others may be a little bit scary, because if we all think the same way, what makes the difference between an individual or another? What is our passion for accomplishing goals and conquer our fears? So the idea of getting outside of the box is not a luxury, it's a necessity. It's not to think outside of our minds, because we cannot do that. What I mean is to think beyond our little limited areas within our minds. It's to produce options different from the ones we already know. It's coming up with the ideas we have not yet learned. These boundaries are the results of years and years of learning from others. Years of imitating another person's behavior rather than discovering our own. All this is the result of constantly following others rather than developing critical thinking and questioning our surroundings instead of just complying with everything. Because what really builds up our character and dignity as human beings are our choices, our failures, our experiences, and decisions we constantly make throughout our lives. Thinking outside of the box is not an option, it's a must. But how do we do this? Whenever we look at things, we get many ideas about the same thing. We recognize how things should be and how they should react, because it's something we already know, and it's easy to infer because that's the way they have always been. This is called convergent information. This is a very difficult process, but if we want to get outside of the box, we must look at things from a different perspective. You need to add something more, something that goes beyond the obvious information, something absurd, something that takes you far, and this is something we call divergent information. This is a critical part of the process of thinking. We need divergent information in order to go through the limits of what we already know and the things we have not yet learned. This is going to take us to a new place we have not discovered, because now we are able to use combination of ideas, create new concepts, adopt new habits, and the application of new principles that were never applied before. We need to be broad-minded to look for alternatives. We cannot just focus on what is right, because with this new way of thinking we obtain more than a simple answer. There are many possible alternatives and many other ways of doing things. With this new skill, we are able to unlock new learning habits which enhance our process of thinking, consequently producing original ideas that help us stretch mentally and be in control of our surroundings. In conclusion, by creating the habit of questioning things, we lead our minds to develop new skills that allow us to create and use information we still have not learned. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have learned something from me today. You can share that with a friend that you may think can learn something too. Don't forget to share, comment and subscribe for more videos. See you next time.